I come from a Baptist background, so my dad was a Baptist minister, my grandpa was a Baptist minister, my uncles were Baptist ministers, so there's a bit of that kind of heritage there. And I suppose in that sense there's a bit of pressure to follow in my dad's lead, and I kind of went a different direction. I went graphic design. I went to London to study it, partly because I quite liked the location, partly it was going back to my roots. I was born in London. When I finished, it was around about the time of the financial crisis. So it was a lovely time to graduate. So I did take a year out. I did a year with the Christian Union's UCCF, and I then worked with a couple of different Christian unions, Goldsmiths and Guy's campus of King's, and so the medics and the arts students, and they were as distinct as you might imagine. And it was good. It was really good fun, and it was a time of kind of working out, well, what am I doing? How does my design fit into God's plan as well? My boss, who was at UCCF, ended up being the pastoral lead at a group of care homes in London. He then invited me to do some pastoral work with him, which wasn't my skill set, but I thought, you know what, it's a bit of work. Yeah, I'll give it a go. One of them was particularly care home with people with advanced dementia, which was a whole world that I'd never experienced before, but that really challenged me in kind of working out what I was doing there, ministering to them, because I had to be thinking, actually, it's not about me knowing what's going on with them. That's good for me. It's great if I do know, but actually the important stuff is God knowing what's going on with them. So eventually leaving London to come up to Shropshire was because my wife got a job here. Eventually I got a job with the Alzheimer's Society. It was a 6-month contract. So it was a short-term thing, but that kept rolling, and eventually I started off doing work where I was going around doing awareness raising about dementia. I kind of liked being part of a group, part of a team, or in the background, that sort of thing. But there was a sense that God kept nudging me all the way along, and I think he was nudging me more and more into the foreground, whether I liked it or not. And so in the background, my vicar being kind of probably recognised that I should be going in this direction before I did, which is the way vicars tend to be. It was the end of 2020 and I was digging in the garden, and that evening with my boys we'd been doing the story of the sower and the seeds, and I was digging in the garden thinking, oh, this really relates to what we've just been talking about, how God sows the seed and our work is just to turn over the soil and to dig it up and make it ready to receive that. And I thought, I'll talk about that with them in the morning. And I came back in and I was filthy, and so I had to go and wash myself. And as I was washing the mud off, I just had this question come to me that was, are you ready to get filthy? And I suppose a lot of things all at once came together where I was like, I know that that's God's voice. That's not normally how I hear God. Normally it's a bit like that sense of a decision comes. You can do one thing, you can do another. Whereas this was very much a question that I wasn't seeking that came to me. And I was like, actually, to be filthy means to not just get my fingers dirty. It's not just playing at the edges, it's diving fully in and getting fully involved in following that and wherever that might lead. I think my journey shows that it's been a bit of a wiggly route. And I've gone one way, I've gone another way. I've thought I found where I was, and then I've been taken another way. And God, sometimes you feel like you're in the right place to hear God and you don't hear him. And sometimes you feel like you're not in the right place, or you're not even thinking that God's going to speak, and then he does. And so I'm really interested to see that when I go into curacy, when I'm going into a whole load of rural churches, going, actually, where is God at work there? Rather than kind of, oh, this is really what I want to do there. Going, actually, where is he and where can I follow? And that's a bit of a weird and scary place to be, because you have to kind of trust that God is doing stuff and that you'll recognise what that is. But I think that's more exciting than just trying to get my own plan going.